Hi, I'm Dan Ritter, Chief Product Officer at Unique. Tonight, I'm going to take you on a journey of AI-enabled workflow for finance. Now, as you all know, this is a very chaotic space. And tonight, we're going to show you in this journey different aspects of a daily life of a portfolio manager in a hedge fund. Your PM book, structured data, you need to manage that. But also with macro events, what's happening in the broader market. Broker research, I get inundated with emails. How do I take that information and apply it to what I need to manage? Analyst consensus, what is structured data? What does FactSet say and how do I apply that? Daily work I need to do, super complex. Multiple data sources, external, internal, structured, unstructured. Unique AI is a technology and an innovation that brings this all together and allows us to solve this problem. I have three cases that I'll show you in this journey. First, the portfolio manager and the portfolio manager's workflow. We are enabling unified research and unique AI to make the life easier. Secondly, for the administrator, the person in the company that has to take all of these services, all of this data, and bring it together so your company and your people can be efficient in their jobs. And finally, the team manager. How can I take this capability and all this structured, unstructured data and make it useful for the teams in an agentic workflow to be efficient, effective, and profitable? So let's dive in. Now, what I would like to say is tonight, this is a live demo. Zach in the back, he's my fingers on the demo. I will pray to the demo gods that everything works out right. At Google, I've prayed often, and it often worked out. So we'll do the same tonight. All right. Let's imagine I'm a portfolio manager. I need to do my weekly report. First thing I need to do is, well, I want to pull my PM book. I want to look at all my important positions. I want to look at my portfolio, individual stocks, ETFs. I want to match it and combine it with, well, information from the recent Fed meeting. What does it mean? How does it impact what I have to manage? And that's external data. I also want to take broker sentiment that I've received through emails and color that portfolio, color the information, so I have better understanding of what I actually need to decide on. And finally, I want to leverage FactSet to take the structured data and give me that full picture of what it actually is that I need to decide on this particular week. So I've launched a query using Unique AI to go through MCP to our structured database to pull my portfolio book to understand what I have. But at the same time, in the query, I've also asked it to go external and check CNBC for the information about the latest Fed meeting and put the perspective, position by position, and the rationale about what is happening and how that Fed affects each individual position. Alone, this step could take hours. As you saw, it took seconds. Now, I just received today some information, some broker analysis in my email. I would like to add that color to this analysis. What I would need to do in a normal context is open Outlook, search for my email, grab that particular item, the most recent one, find the most relevant information on a stock by stock, ticker by ticker basis, and apply the information to try to really understand what's the broker sentiment. With Unique AI, we can do that with one simple prompt. As you see here, it's reached out to Outlook. Unique AI calls MCP. MCP interacts with the Outlook API, grabs the last email that I've received from the broker, extracts that information, and then line by line applies the sentiment, the rationale, and the broker insights so I don't have to do that. Again, massive time savings. As you can see, it's all here. So, finally, I'd really like to have FactSet information to understand the analyst consensus, revenue forecasts, earnings sentiments. With Unique AI, it's a simple prompt. And again, Unique AI calls through the MCP hub to FactSet to pull exactly this information on a line-by-line basis, on a ticker-by-ticker basis. And now it's pulling all the information from FactSet to augment the analysis. I get the broker insights, but also this rationale over here on the side, which is the FactSet information and the FactSet consensus on the right. There we go, overweight, buy, etc. Now I've had 3 complex queries, 3 different tables, but I want one common view. So now I'm going to ask Unique AI to simply consolidate this all into an overarching table and an overarching view. And it's going to take the Fed insights, it's going to take my broker insights, and it's going to take the FactSet analysis, and it's going to bring it all together in one table and one view. Now, normally, this would take hours, if not even days, right? This is a week's task, core to my business, but now, in a matter of minutes, I have this consolidated view where I can clearly understand every position in my portfolio book with all the analysis and color that I need to help me make my decisions. Fantastic. Well, I'm an individual, that's great, but I work in a team. So I want to easily share this information. This is great for an Excel. I mean, having it in this interface is really, really nice. I know it's done a great job. I'd like to easily share it. Unique AI has code execution. It can, on the fly, create this table in Excel, but it's not just spitting out the data, right? I want it in a nice formatted view, column width, something that makes sense, and maybe a categorization that has a traffic light on it to give me an indication about what each position means and how it should exist in the portfolio. So we'll ask Unique AI to use code execution to create this view. Now, code execution, it's not only there to create files like Excel. It can do detailed data analytics for you. It can also create plots and charts to really make the data come alive directly in the AI. As you see, it's generated this great plot, as well as the Excel file. If I open that, and then I can then scroll over to the actual Excel file, well-formatted information that I no longer need to manage super cumbersome Excels to put it in a nice view. Imagine the time savings here. The efficiency, the ease, the accuracy, it makes decision-making that much easier. I was talking to Michelle earlier, and she was super interested on, well, what's happening with Microsoft and United Health, and how should maybe she interact with them and maybe decide to structure her portfolio based on Fed data, broker information, and FactSet. Well, I want to create a quick email to Michelle, but I don't want to go in and row by row, figure it out, pull it out, come up with a narrative. I just want the AI to do it. So I asked Unique AI to create this email, this draft email. I also don't really want to type it into Outlook. Let's let the AI do it as well. And that's exactly what it does. Unique AI calls through MCP, the Outlook API, and creates a draft. Now, if I open my Outlook, you can see exactly the drafted email, Microsoft, United Health, the positions, and I can easily just forward it on to Michelle. Great time savings. This journey through a portfolio manager's daily and weekly activity shows the power of AI and how it can dramatically help with your efficiency, with your ease of use, and the accuracy of your decision making. But it's not the only person that works in the company that needs to interact with this. Let's take it from an administrator's perspective, right? As an administrator, I need to take all this data, all the data systems, the sources, be it structured, unstructured, internal, external, and bring it into one place. And that's where Unique's MCP Hub comes into play. So if I open up the MCP Hub, you can see all the servers we have and interacted with. Now these are the live servers I've used in the live demo, the FactSet server, the Outlook server, and the server connected to our local database where my PM book was. I can easily add servers, so I can just, with a click of a button, if I have a server, I can just put the link in, and I have already the security mechanisms are starting to be built in. Authentication, individual or shared. So Outlook, everyone has an individual Outlook. I have to have an individual authentication. but maybe with FactSet, I might have a company account and that needs to be shared authentication. So we provide that at the connector level. We also have system prompts where you can instruct at the connector level how the connector should interact with the AI. But the granular interaction happens one level deeper. So let's click into Outlook, and you can see I can connect to Outlook, but it has a wealth of capabilities. So if you open the tools here, you'll see multiple tools that I could potentially allow my company and my users in my company to use. This is where the guardrails are. So for instance, I could let the AI send an email. Do I want that? Do you want your LLM sending emails on the basis and the name of your company? You might not. And this is exactly where you can configure it. Your administrators, they can put those guardrails in to make certain the right capabilities are available for your users and your teams. In this case, list emails. I wanted to list emails in my demo, and that's what I did. If we double click there, you can see how we can even further configure. So we have specific system prompts on a tool-by-tool basis where I can tell the tool exactly how I want it to interact, the tone of voice. Perhaps it's a tool and an interaction that needs to be technical. So it has to be technically concise and detailed. Maybe it's something that's more business-oriented. So I want a business narrative that's not quite as technical. And this is where we can have one more level of interaction to make your capabilities very specific for your users. Well, with all this capability, I want to now have my teams enabled with exactly the workflows that they want. So my team leads can come into unique AI spaces. And you saw this live because this is exactly what I demoed. We've configured a space, the multi-strategy portfolio manager space, with the tools that the administrator made available. I can give it a very specific prompt. I told it, hey, well, you're a research analyst embedded in portfolio manager's core research workflow. I told it how to interact and how it should communicate with me. But more importantly, if I went into the detailed configuration, I can see exactly the tools that my administrator made available to me to construct my agent and my workflow. So this is perfect for an enterprise. You have administrative control with delegated team interactions. The teams can build their workflows the way they want for the tasks that they have. So in summary, you've seen how unique AI can power your portfolio manager and the workflow they have through a daily business, how administrators can take the wealth of services, data, structured, unstructured, external, internal, and bring it all into the MCP hub, and how a team and a team lead can use unique AI spaces in order to craft the perfect agent for the work that's needed. This is not just enabling your company to use AI. This is providing you an agentic infrastructure that tailors to your organizational needs. Thank you.